Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning. Bix Weir, RoadToRoad.com. Hey, I've got a silver update for you. The year looking back, year looking forward. Jenny and I did a good discussion on the private road. This one is about what's going on in silver. You know, just on what was it? Friday was the last delivery day for the December contract, and I talked about it in yesterday's Horn of Z's that JP Morgan had delivered 660 something contracts, and it was really bizarre because there weren't even that much contracts needed to be delivered. So I did a little searching, and it looks like they're doing a little end of year shuffling like JP Morgan used to do in the past. I remember SLV one year had put in 20 million ounces on December 31st and then taken it out the next day, or the next day they were open, so that they were able, it looked like they had enough silver when they actually didn't. It's such a con that these people pull. So it's hard to look at any numbers because the numbers are fake. So this, there's already a delivery of 668 contracts by JP Morgan for the January contract. And that was pretty much the entire open interest in January. This is fraud, my friends. The CFTC is closing its eyes to pure, unadulterated fraud. That's over 3 million ounces. It's crazy what they're allowed to get away with. They can do anything they want, literally. It's kind of funny if it wasn't an ongoing problem in our world. But in the end, you know, David Morgan always says you can't. You can rig a little bit, but you can't rig against the trend. I completely disagree. I think the price of silver has been rigged for 170 years. I know it has been. All the research shows that. The bear market in silver starting in 2011 was caused by the increase in the price of silver from $20 to $50 due to JP Morgan putting Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff. And I pointed that out as it was going on. It went up to $50. They slammed it from $50, getting all the weak hands to just destroy people. And it created a 10-year bear market in silver. We're still fighting to get out of that. You know, they still, Rustin Benham at the CFTC still says, hey, we have to keep the silver market structure intact so we can tamp down the price. That's how commodities are tamped down, is futures and options. So if the price goes too fast, even if it's been withheld for 170 years, if it moves up too fast, they just throw more derivatives at it. That is what the structure is. It's got nothing to do with the supply and demand of silver. And we'll go through the supply and demand in silver because it is stunning what a great investment opportunity silver is here at $23, $24. It's crazy. We're less than half of its all-time high from 1980. How much money has been printed since 1980? Pretty soon, everybody's going to know this. So, you know, get your silver now type of thing. But yeah, so I looked at the, as you can see right here, yesterday, JP Morgan had put up 668 contracts delivered. That was on the 30th. And there was nothing, or the 29th, and there was nothing done on the 30th right here. No regular silver contracts were delivered because they were taken care of. But but the reality is, and we can see it with this data right here, JP Morgan wants to call the delivery they did on Thursday and Friday a January, so they can straddle the books. It looks like they have it on the books, but they don't. It's a fraud. It's accounting fraud. But, you know, basically what it did, they made deliveries pretty much on everything for January. The entire open interest for January is gone now. So there'll be only 27 deliveries left in the January. It's not a delivery month, but, you know, normally there's 1,000 or so. So there's nothing left because JP Morgan did a straddle trade around the end of the year, complete manufacturing of the reality that it's not there. They probably counted it in SLV as well. I'll be interested to see the SLV short position. Anyway, that's what's going on with those bastards. And you can see it right here. Right here is JP Morgan, what they delivered. And by the way, this is their customer account. Remember, they can't trade for their own account yet. That's until the DOJ lets them out of their deferred prosecution, which they already violated, but DOJ is not doing anything about it because it's completely controlled entity. But JP Morgan, yes, on Thursday and Friday delivered 668 contracts, and yet it shows they have only delivered 102 contracts for the entire month. And this will show up, just watch, next Tuesday when this report comes out for January. This will all be gone. We'll print this con again like everybody else does and say, here we go, another year's worth of con. And you can see it everywhere you look with JP Morgan, unfortunately. They were able to keep the price right around where it started, around $23. So bravo, good job, JP Morgan. Right around there, right around $23, $24 is what we started the year, and they let it run up in the beginning, and then they slammed it down, and they let it run up in the end. These are computer programs trading back and forth to each other. It's got nothing to do with the supply and demand of silver. Let's get into that. What happened last year in silver? Well, according to the Silver Institute, which is a fraud organization, I don't think they are influenced, obviously, by the rigors and the control mechanism, but I don't think they're smart enough to figure out that their numbers are so wrong. They just add to whatever numbers they get the last year. Anyway, according to them, this is the second year officially of the silver deficit, meaning we consume more silver than we mine or recycle. The funny thing is about this number, so their forecasts for the numbers are going to be a total supply of about 1 billion ounces and 1,030,000,000 ounces, and then the total demand is 1,101,000,000 or 102 million ounces. So a supply deficit of 71 million ounces. By the way, this doesn't even include the largest thing that happened last year. And the largest thing that happened last year wasn't all this ESG stuff. Wasn't the solar panels. I mean, they blew out their numbers. Wasn't electric cars. They blew out their numbers. Everybody blew out their numbers in silver. Even investment silver blew out their numbers. The biggest thing that happened was India. India imported, or will import by the end of this year, close to 300 million ounces. It is nowhere on this supply and demand chart. Now, some people say it's in the jewelry area, because in India, supposedly they take in jewelry for dowries or silver for dowries. That's how very little silver ever leaves India. It's all, if you think about it, it's one of the poorest countries in the world. It's probably good they're getting a lot of silver. But 300 million ounces when there's a shortage of 71 million, I think that's closer to 370 million ounce deficit last year, which is shocking. That means it had to come out of somewhere. And we saw the SLV drop. I think it was around 150 million ounces. So all the investors in that con called SLV are helping the bad guys rig the price. That's what it is. But yeah, India's silver imports top 8,000 tons, which is 256,000 ounces, and this was as of the third quarter. So yeah, it's going to hit 300 million ounces as of this year, and then probably more next year. But where will it come from? If the gangster criminals keep suppressing the price, it'll come from the market. Hell, why not? I mean, if I was India and could print my own money like any country can, I'd buy as much silver as possible. Why isn't every single country on the planet doing that? I have no idea. You're insane if you are not a country. If you can print money, if you care about your people, you print as much money as you can and buy silver. Not gold, silver. You should have sold all your gold by now, swapped it for silver. I was screaming about that when it was 95-1 ratio. And let's look at the ratio. This is this one cracks me up. This is a gold and silver ratio projected futures. So if gold goes to, for example, $4,000 an ounce, And I think it will. I think gold will do very well, even though there's massive amounts of it. Gold will double in the next few years. And that puts silver, if you go back to the 16-to-1 ratio, that would be silver at about $400 at the 16-to-1. And then at 20-to-1, it's at 4,000. Yeah, I mean, the price of silver is completely rigged, completely managed, and it won't end until the COMEX ends. This is the criminal exchange is the problem. The futures and options derivative market called the COMEX, and you can see that it is ending. Actually, look at the futures; they're just dropping and dropping and dropping. That means all the volume was made up of the criminal banks trading back and forth to each other on these computer programs, all controlled by Vinny Viola of Virtu Financial. That's ending. So you should see the open interest dropping. And let's take a look at open interest. Here it is. This green right here is the open interest. Look at this. Now, this is from 2020. It was pretty high up until 2020, and then it just bang. It fell off a cliff. Look at that. Boom. Because it was in the 240,000 contracts, which is ridiculous just on the face of it. The open interest means how many contracts on the LBMA you have open. So there's a buyer and a seller for every contract. So somebody owns it and somebody owes it. But it's dropped by about half. That's the banks getting out, and they're trying to do it slowly, but I don't know if they've got any more silver left to play this game. But according to the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, if you didn't know, yes, the United States has a corrupt banking system. 50 times more corrupt is the UK, England's banking system, the city of London. And then you got the little players all around. The EU is just a little player type of. But look at how much silver they claim to have delivered. They say, for example, in 2020, they delivered over 3.5 billion ounces B. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's a huge lie. There's not even that much available to trade. And you're telling me every single contract was delivered upon. It's just a lie. The whole thing is a lie. These are the annual averages. But you see, it is dropping. Now it was like 1.8 billion ounces of silver were delivered this month or this year. That's just stupid, truthfully. Ridiculous. And here's what's really happening. Lease rates. Leasing silver must be the dumbest thing besides everything else. Leasing silver means you are borrowing someone's silver and paying them to borrow it. Now, it means you do have to pay back the silver. So you take futures and options and all that, but you need silver you need physical silver for some reason. I'm not sure I absolutely trust these what they record here, but clearly something has happened in the last couple of years. This is the 2-year, and you can see where the volatility happens. This is the silver squeeze right in here, and then over here is just rising and rising, and that means there's less silver available to lease. It means there's less silver available, and a lot of this leasing happens at the mint area, the U.S. Mint. The Perth Mint is a huge lessor, and the Royal Canadian Bank. They're all in on the con. Now they're leasing metal, so they make the coins because they don't have the metal. Now, what are they going to do when they have to give back the metal? Do they ever give back the metal? Do they just pay for it? And then what happens? Then they're out of metal. So it's a con. It's all managed by the Exchange Stabilization Fund along with the bullion banks. And that's America. Yes, sir, that's America. I did want to point out Veritasium had dropped today. Rose and then dropped quickly. Remember, anybody goes and buys and sells, you're going to move the price. I was able to pick up some Veritasium in the 20s, which is really cool. It didn't last very long, but hey. Look at the total volume, $35,000. That's insane for a crypto. So you can move this price up and down like a madman. And most of the exchanges traded on are completely rigged. I think the only one Veritasium's on is Mercatox and one of those swap exchanges. Let me see here. Oh yeah, it was Mercatox. And Uniswap is the other one. Very expensive to do on Uniswap. It looks like $44 versus 40 and 37. Most of the volume is in BTC trading for very. Just crazy, just crazy. That's that's what you get when you blackball a currency, a cryptocurrency, Veritasium. I don't know what's going to happen. Veritasium is that lottery ticket. I still put in the lottery ticket category. Even after um, he got the patent approved, the 2 patents approved. But the patents are intellectual property patents by Reggie Middleton. Whether or not it transfers over into the token is unknown. There is a reason I believe that they're freezing. They've frozen the 98 million Veritasium tokens and aren't telling anybody what to do. And anybody who placed a claim, like the SEC said, place your claim so you can get your money back from the ICO. Nobody's been paid back, and it's been years. Que capular, as they say in Spanish. I just, there's so many mysteries around this. And Reggie has been so demonized by both the crypto people and the regulators and the banks and all that. This is the underdog story of a lifetime, if you ask me. And all he did was invent a way to circumvent the banks to these crazy criminal exchanges. That's the fix, peer-to-peer transaction. A lot of people stealing his intellectual property now. He'll win all those cases. I think he just sued another one. He's in court with Coinbase. I think he just sued another one. They're absolutely infringing on his patent. So we'll see what happens. But it is possible that the actual tokens that are left trading could be worth a lot. In Cliff High's data, he had the U.S. government coming to Reggie and saying, "Help us," after the exchanges collapsed, I believe. I don't know if his data had that, but he definitely had the U.S. government coming to Reggie. If I was Reggie, I'd think about saying, no, screw you. You guys destroyed me. Or just give me back my 98 million coins and we'll go from where I was before. And, oh, by the way, give me back the money you stole. And not the money, the cryptos. I mean, they stole all the Ethereum he raised and all that. And that stuff it better be frozen. They better not have sold it off to keep the market lower. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to go there? Interesting thing about January 6th, this guy is finally coming back. Ray Epps is finally coming back into the news. He was the guy running around saying, go into the Capitol, go into the Capitol. Just crazy stuff that the Democrats have spun. And this guy was not charged for anything. They put a lot of people in jail, and people have died in jail for doing less than this guy did. And so who was he? Was he paid by the Democrats? I don't know. It'll probably come out in Twitter. I love the Twitter files. Anyway, that's all I got for you. You want more information, go to roadtoroot.com. We're currently, as of today, December 31st, still giving away one Ruta Lives coin, the coolest coin ever made, for every subscription and renewal. So go check it out.